Hello, Halt bar. How are we all feeling tonight? It's not an answer, it's just making noise. How are we all feeling? Bleh. Sick, apparently, by the sounds of that girl right there. As I've been introduced, Sanj, it's actually a nickname that I go by. I tried to get rid of it, and unfortunately now it's been written in the book and it'll never go away. So, my real name is Dan, and as the act mentioned, the host Chris mentioned earlier on, my family never turned up this week for my gig. I don't know why he's cheering. He fancied my sister and she couldn't make it tonight, so this must be incredibly awkward for him. And I'm sure if his girlfriend is in, she'll feel it quite awkward as well. My family couldn't make it. They've actually went away. I'll tell you about that a wee bit later on. But my dad, he was going to make it, but I was on the phone to him just on the Sunday there, and he says, "Oh, I won't be able to make it. Wee bit of bother with the constabulary, and I'm actually banned from going into the Glasgow city centre as part of my bail conditions." I would have just put up with him saying, "Nah, I really can't be arsed seeing you in the night, if I'm going to be honest with you." But you know what? An excuse is an excuse, and I admire him for trying. But I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things that I've completely forgot, but it's lucky that I have arms and a pen. I will talk to you about a wee story because I think it's a bit redundant. When I started doing comedy, I was 16, and the very first joke that I ever told when I was on stage was about a girl that I kissed at a party, and I thought it was quite a hilarious situation. Not a lot of people found it funny until I put it on stage. Basically, I went to this party, really, really drunk. I just turned 16, basically. And I met a girl, one thing led to another, wee bit of kissing, a wee bit of groping, you know how it goes. We've all been 16 before. And, but every time I kissed her, there was this awkward moment where she'd go, "I'll be back in a minute," and I go, "Oh, where are you going? Where are you going?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just going to go outside for a fag." How bad does my breath have to be for you to have to go outside for a fag for everyone? I mean, fair enough if it was every couple, but everyone. But basically, I went up to my pal, he's quite good with women, so I thought he might help me and be able to tell me exactly how to go about it. And he said, "Well, why don't you just have a chewing gum? I mean, if your breath really is that bad as you think it is, have a chewing gum will be absolutely fine." So I thought, that's quite a good idea, but I thought, you know what, I'll take it one better. A Nicorette chewing gum. I thought that would do quite well, it's fresh, it's got the nicotine she so desperately craves. So I thought, that seems a good idea. So I put my Nicorette chewing gum in, and she's just got back for a cigarette, and I was sitting chatting, and then had a wee kiss with me. And then I thought, you know what, I've got a better idea, because I don't really smoke, so this seems like a waste, so... Apparently, you could tell, that was an exact replica of the spit that I did with that chewing gum. You could tell through the microphone, that was quite a hard spit, that, and she never noticed that she had that chewing gum, and about 3 minutes later she went, "I'm just going to go outside for a fag," and you know what, for everything I've ever heard, nicotine overdoses don't go down that well, seizures is tend to how they end, everybody else went home in a taxi, she got an ambulance. We don't talk much anymore, actually. But, I think that story's a bit funnier now, because I always used to tell that joke and say that the reason I didn't like her smoking is because my gran smoked, and that eventually, that killed her. And I says, you know what, I hate smoking if it's going to kill people, but now I smoke about 60 a day. So it's a bit redundant, and I think it's a wee bit funny that I hated her for it, and then nearly killed her through it. And it's not really going well for me tonight, I'll be honest with you.
Well, laughing watching.
It's smudged in the rain. Lovely. No weather. Well, I'll tell you a thing about, you know how the Iraq war went on for absolutely ever, or God knows what, and that eventually ended a couple of months ago, about 6 months ago. But the Afghan war still seems to be going, and I think it's quite interesting that through all the sort of recession, people saying that, people aren't buying now, and there's a real opportunity to put something on TV that people will watch, and they can put the adverts in between it and it'll get so many people's attention, because I guarantee everybody will watch it based on the fact that everybody watched Big Brother. I think that Channel 4 is missing out because, you know, everyone, that Big Brother's pretty much dead in its arse now. Nobody's going to watch it for now and then, no matter how many seasons they try to spin out here. But if Channel 4 can stretch out the Afghan war into another 10 seasons, then surely that is a reality telly programme that about, what, half of the population of the country would probably watch. What do you think? What do you think? Would you watch it? Undoubtedly, because you can imagine that Geordie guy just going, day 7,483 in Afghanistan. An Alpha team have been pinned down by 14 12-year-old boys with machine guns. You can see it already, can't you? I've been imagining this for about a year and a half. I think it's bloody brilliant. I mean, imagine it's just an Alpha team, Bravo team, Delta team. Who goes home? You decide. Fantastic. I'm absolutely convinced, but I'm going to go to a wee solo note. You know how I say about my family's not actually here. Most of the family that tend to come to my gigs are actually in Canada right now for a funeral. A good man, a great man actually died just on St Patrick's Day, my Uncle Joe. And the man was actually so great, in fact, that his funeral was televised across the whole of Canada. That's how well known he is. And that's technically a lie, but he was a pretty good guy, and it was quite nice just to see the look in your faces when everybody thought that my uncle was Canada's answer to Michael Jackson. But you know, I thought I'd bring it up because you won't find it funny. I think it's fucking hilarious. But he died on St Patrick's Day. Everybody knows what St Patrick's Day basically is. It's the Irish one day where they don't need to come up with an excuse to drink hard day for the full day. And basically my uncle was a die-hard alcoholic for the last 35, 40 years maybe. So I think it's quite funny that he died on St Patrick's Day, and it was a heart attack. And I get the feeling that he might have just bought one too many bottles of whiskey and just couldn't make that walk back to the house. He's just falling to the ground and reaching for the bottle of whiskey, just breaking the clock and then dying. Well, I thought it was funny. I didn't say that. But I'm going to leave it there because I think covering death, war, and death again is pretty much as much as I can do on one stage in one night. So thank you very much for your time. I'll see you all later.